Today's video is going to be one of my weapon spotlights. It's a particular gun that I've worked on, got set up, and I'm very proud of. What we have here is the STG44 or MP44. Various websites listed as the MP44, some listed as an STG44. This is actually an AGM MP44. What you see here, just so that we get this, what I've got here in front of me, this is an STG44 carry case. It is specifically made for the STG44. It is, I bought this off eBay. It is like either a replica or a real steel version that someone had. What you have is the mag pouches here, hold three mags. You have a carry handle right here, and this has a spot for straps, which you're supposed to strap this to your back on your back of your rig. Has a leather front here so that the muzzle brake or flash hider goes into that. The straps that hold this closed, it's a flap, are pull straps. You just pull on this little spot here and it comes open. It's got like a little D-clip hanging up here. This little other clip goes over and then this goes through. So pull those open, flip this open. Right here is a spot for an oiler, which I have some rails and a couple other things in here that I was using. These are, oh, this is an extra front sight that I had from another particular gun. But the oiler is supposed to go in this particular pocket here. It's the same design too. It's a hook and then you just push this little piece through and it stays shut. This last pouch, which is hard to see on the side here, is for a bayonet. Now I've not been able to find one, but they do have one that fits on the front of the STG44, or so I'm being told. Alright, so let's pull the gun out. First I'm going to pull the sight out. Alright. And I'm going to pull the gun out. The STG or AGM MP44, I'm going to say the AGM MP44, is a very, very heavy gun. And the reason, two reasons for that, is these extremely heavy mags. They look like an AK style mag. It's a high cap, that's all it was ever made for, but it is extremely heavy. The gun itself, okay, is real wood and a heavy white. It's a white metal. I don't know what you'd call it. It's real heavy cast. It's two halves with this barrel assembly, which is metal also. Very heavy. The whole gun is extremely heavy when you're carrying it. I'm not sure the weight, but it's got to be at least 15 to 18 pounds. It's very front heavy. It's very front heavy too when you're carrying it. With the mag in there, it seems to dip forward. Still has the metal flash hider on the front, if you can see that right there. Okay, it does have a sight post, no adjustment here. This is supposed to be the cleaning rod coming out of here. Alright. The battery for this goes inside the stock. You pull the pin, the battery slides back in here. It has a leaf adjustable sight, and it is a right side, righty friendly type gun where the mag release is here. That's the only spot, and the fire selector is here. This is, it looks like a lever that should be pushed, but it's actually a lever that's pulled back. That's safe. Trigger doesn't move. You pull back once, semi, pull all the way back, full auto. This is a regular sling that was specifically made for it. It threads through this hole in the stock and it attaches to the sling point that is up front. This is made to be carried over the shoulder. It is not a sling to be worn as you're firing it. So when they were marching or whatever, you would sling this over your back and call it good. What I put on here, and I'm going to show you, is a Zf4 Mount, okay, with a 4-power German scope. The only reason that I say it's a German scope, it's a Belarus, which they told me is a German, I think it's a German scope, and it's a 3.5 magnification, fixed magnification. Now the only issue with this is it's a beautiful scope, but I've got the rings tightened all the way up and this scope moves around. So I'm going to have to do something to keep that from moving. Also, the setup on it is gorgeous. It is a beautiful post setup in there, and you can really get a good eye relief on it and get shots off fairly well. What I bought with this Zf4 mount for the scope was a little side rail right here. Okay, and I'm going to zoom in on this just so you guys can see this. Hopefully I can get it to zoom in here. Alright, I'm going to pull back a little bit. Here is the mount right here. It's move this over a little bit. The mount is right here. What happens is this is a slide-on piece with a push portion right here. This pushes in when you're putting the scope on there. Okay? Well, not when it's not locked. It pushes in. And I'm going to show that on with it zoomed in like this. Okay. You open the scope up, open the lever up, and now this will push down, as you can see. This slides on this way, goes on, and you push this down till it gets to the spot, and it'll click in place. It won't go any farther because it is actually blocked off. And then you push this lever over here, push it down. This locks this in place to keep it from coming out, and you now have a swept back type scope on the rifle. Really works really well. Incredible eye relief too, and it's not in the way of the fixed sight that's on here. Alright, I'm going to take that off. Alright, you just open the lever again, push the button down, and this slides right off. Now, the thing with this mount, and I'll zoom back in again, I had two people ask me about this. This is like a white, that's what it is, white metal. It cracks real easy. So what I did was I drilled, they came with 2 pins. Alright, and these are the 2 holes that right here and this one here are the ones that the scope mount clicks into. So I drilled into the body and I threaded the pins in, but I put JB weld in the holes and in back of this actual bracket itself, so it is fast to the gun. Now there are clamp-on sights that you can get that clamp on right over the top. I couldn't get any of them to work correctly, but this works phenomenal. This is a Zf4. I do have a link for it. I will put it in the description in case someone is looking to put a mount on there. You got to find your own scope though. But the Zf4 mount is not cheap, but it does work good. But it requires a little work on your part. Okay, I'm going to show you real quick the battery installation. There's a pin on this side. It pulls out fairly easy, but it does have a tension on this side, so it can't really fall out. This slides back, and the battery goes inside this long, hollow stock. It is like a buffer tube style in the center. I don't know if that's even going to translate on video. There it is. You can see it a little bit. It's got like a buffer tube style. Let me see here. See the hole down in there? Let me get down in there. See the hole? Alright, that was just for showing. It's a buffer tube style, so what I'm using is a stick type 11.1 1200 mAh. You basically just put it down inside the hole here, okay, and it goes, you can put a big stick battery. This originally came with a big stick battery, okay, and you fold the wires up, they click on, pin goes back in place, bang slam, Bob's your uncle, it's ready to rock and roll. I'm going to fire this, dry fire it, just so you guys can get an idea. And just make sure that there's no BBs in the chamber. Fire it into my box. Okay. Alright. What we have here is, this is on semi, so listen. This is on full. It is not a very fast gun. The rate of fire is only like 12 to 14, and the FPS is about 380. I've worked on mine, so it's down below 400, but these came like 420 to 440 with .20s. So mine might be shooting that high, because I'm 380 with 2.5s, you figure 20, 30 more, so I'm like in the low 400s with 2.0s. I'd have to check the chrono readings, and I will post them up here right now. The history on this gun, and I bought all boneyard ones, because the big thing with these is everything that you get from these guns is either cracked or broken. Okay, this white metal, when people would bang them and drop them, they would crack. So this was a boneyard gun. It was cracked in one of the spots here. I bought a second boneyard gun. I bought a third one, and I bought a fourth one. The reason for that is I mixed and matched parts to get them to go. And I took parts from one of the really bad boneyard guns and put all the really good parts, stock, the sight. This splits in half like a clamshell. This is all one piece here, barrel. I put all the good parts in here, the gearbox, the whole 9 yards, the leaf, everything that was top notch, not broken, good, I put back in here. So this is a solid gun, shoots well, incredible. I'm shooting it with 3.0s, hitting out to 220 feet, which is phenomenal. And I put everything I had into this particular one. I started working on a second one. All of the parts that I had the same spot broken. They would drop this gun, and the gun would break right in this section by the charging handle, which is also where you don't do anything with this, as this is just a fake charging handle, but that's where it would break. The hop-up is right here in this window that you have to pull up yourself. It doesn't lock in place, and it just shuts in that. There's no way to make that pop open. There's no magic bar or nothing, but it is looks like an M4 style hop-up the way it is with the wheel and things like this here, and it's pretty good. It's very stiff. But every one of the guns that I had bought, the boneyard ones, were cracked in this section right here. Now this one is a complete one with no cracks, everything like this, with the scope and that, and 6 mags. But they're all high caps, so if you put 6 mags and this gun on your person, you are suffering. There's lots and lots and lots of weight. The other guns that I had, and I will show a picture of some of them after this, were broken, like in parts. The one I got from one particular place was just a box of parts. Everything was broken in it. The other one I got, the main part here was broken, and another one that I got, the main part. Every one of these guns had a broken part on one side or the other, stock, whatever. So I took 4 and I made 2, which also each one of them came with a mag. So I started out with 4 mags. Okay, which was great, because these were really hard to get. Everybody's always out of stock. Recently, and I'll put a link for the description, they come up with a new style mag. Airsoft Megastore has it, that works in this, feeds well, and has no problem. So I actually have 6 mags now. I have all the mags in this gun. I don't have any mags. No, I take that back. I have 1 mag in the extra AGM MP44 I have. It's in the original box and everything's in there, and it's a cracked one that I've JB welded and fixed, but it works, it shoots, it's fine, and it's a stock gearbox. One change, the only physical change internally I have done to these is a new bucking. I took the hop-up apart, put a new bucking in. It's a G&G cold weather bucking, a green. That's it. Everything else is stock on this gun. I have not done anything else. I did varnish the, stain this top stock a little bit and varnish it just to make it look a little bit different. But this is complete. The other gun, I did fix the stock and the bucking as well. JB Weld, got everything working good on that. But I did try something different on that. I tried to JB Weld a rail on top, and that didn't quite work out. I was able to get a long scope on there, and it looks okay, but it's sort of a hack job. And when I look at this one compared to that one, night and day. So this weapon here, I was thinking about selling until I actually got it out and started working with it, and no, I don't want to sell it. Maybe I'll sell the other one, but these are hard to get. They have a new one now. Evike is selling one of their Matrix brands now that looks similar to this, and it's OEM by AGM, so it's the same thing. Whether it's a metal body like this, or maybe they come up with, if they come up with a version with a polymer body like this, in this type of gun, this would be phenomenal. It'd be the original assault weapon, this is. I really enjoy shooting this. I don't like carrying it for an event over a long period of time because the rig I actually have MP44 mag holsters for this. Once you get the 6 mags on there, well that holds 4. I hold 4 mags and 1 in the gun. It's extremely, extremely heavy. So unless you want to go for a long period of time with this, I stood point guarding an area with this for like 3 hours, and trust me, I had it over my shoulder more than I actually was holding it. Along with the scope on top of this too, the scope is not light. That Zf4 mount with the scope is very heavy. So this is not a light gun to be using. It's a very well-made replica, but as far as using it on a regular basis, I don't think so. I will be using this at an event coming up this Saturday with 2 mags. They're 530 rounds apiece, so if I go through that many rounds, you know, I'm shooting too much with this. Who knows? This is going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully I have some good kills with this, and I'm going to put the scope on it and see if I can range some people out with the scope. I hope you enjoyed this spotlight. I'm going to put some pictures at the end of the gun itself with the scope and the whole 9 yards, and maybe pictures of the other AGMs and the boxes that I have. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day.